I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. Why didn't you just talk to him? So you'd have the time to find a convict's haul of stolen goods. Why didn't you just talk to him? You could have just, become friends with him or something. Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Mr. Garrett really has had a lot to put up with. You should be lucky that he didn't kick you out! And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And, if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
Oh yeah, that's right. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shakespeare? How does it go? To be or not to be? That's the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done.
I wonder what he went to jail for. Oh, he probably went to jail for burglary.
At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. Gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. It's no joke. Say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay here. I don't care how cheap it is.
Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place.
There are some spare rooms in my house. There's spare rooms in my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember?
But that was the last time we'd ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen. I'd have insisted he'd left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. Something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub Grubbers for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican.
That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas, and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problems there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking.
How could that be? Duncan was gone and... Now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered. A rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Me.
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End.
A black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. You really can't buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. Mr. Shamsphere was innocent. Nothing would come of what you'd done. Except maybe it would kill the person who checks the pipes, right? Wouldn't it? But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
Found out the name of the man I suspected. William Shamsphere. Then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. He had done it. I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get its just desserts.
Three days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. What was his voice? You know what? Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depth of depravity that we would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponi's friend.
Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
And now you did, and now we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Haha. No, just kidding.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green?
Yes, my lord?
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamsphere.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamsphere, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes?
Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from
ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle.
I wasn't myself. Can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. The question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green.
Oh.
And I'd like to believe that if it's a blessing Mr. Shamsphere didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least.
Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Poor kid. Ryunosuke Natsume. What was his voice? Look up. Yes, my lord. Court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. I completely forgot they were there. In our case, I hereby declare the defendant. Woo! 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 Oh man, that case went places. Oh, yeah, guy. It was just like the way it was put out was so. Court is adjourned. The way it was laid out was just like so hard for me to figure out what happened. Like the fucking correlation between the two people. Oh man, that really got me just going. It was a good case. It's a good case, even if the fucking guy is annoying. Blowing through gas pipes is also a stupid concept, but oh yes, yes, at last, divine justice duly done. Divine justice, my dear fellow. If there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache!
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Look up, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Once again, you've saved me from doom! I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted and gaining affection for English literature while in a great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
Ah, but a week ago now. I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. And I've seen more to life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that so far been hiding from me behind a wall of fog. My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are humans. There are few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fear. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What? Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my! So you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume. How wonderful!
Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature! Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. That's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is in the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes! Faced with such a terrifying prospect, Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
But that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it! Objection! I assume he said that, whatever. And that was the case where we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. So why? It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. But why keep this a secret? The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot, hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. That's why! What is it? Do we get to see it in this case? In this chapter? We're gonna see it? We're gonna see it. Please tell me we see it. I don't want to wait until the next case to fucking see it. I swear to God, if you fucking hold it, if you hold out on me, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. I mean, considering how much books is here, it's impressive that you were able to find it at all. Wouldn't you agree, Rexon? Oh my God, Mario!
Grexy has been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorously might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul. Let's see. What the? What is that? A dog collar? It's got blood on it!
It looks to be some sort of neckband. Or collar?
Collar? It's huge though.
And look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see why it is claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains.
Does it belong to like a person? You don't think it could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thought, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then of course, there's this emblem here.
What does it say, B?
A large letter B and a small crown.
B? What does it signify, do you think?
Oh! I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been?
I don't know. That's enough of that, I think. I knew he was gonna... What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color is drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this. Aren't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. Must be kept safely under lock and key. Adio. Yes. Get your grubby hands off of that, you lot, and hand it over. Now! Does he know? He probably would know, right? Maybe? I'd never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly looked to be extremely valuable. That's not what stood out the most to me. At least, not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been... blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes? What is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
She could have still written it, but just omit the part about the fucking. Oh shit. Because of that collar.
なぜあの時ホームズさんが事件の発表を禁じたのか。全てが一つにつながるにはもう少し時間が必要だった。物語が再び動き出したのは佐藤さんの手紙が届いて2ヶ月後。その事件はかのロンドン万博の最中に起こったのだった。
Oh, what could it be? What could it be? Oh my god, I want to know so badly!
We have to figure out what that collar means. It's got a B? B with a crown on it. Herlock. God, it's his collar. Can't believe it. Well, that's that. So we have I'm not gonna read it, but I do want to see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. God, okay. Okay. So that's that for now. Oh my gosh, what a journey. Oh my god. Okay. That was just a lot to... First of all, it's a lot to go through. I just fucking did this for almost 5 hours. I cannot believe I am still alive after 5 hours. I just really wanted to see the conclusion of this case, so I'm glad I pulled through. Ah, God, I want to know what happens. I want to know so badly what happens. Ah, God, there's not enough time in the day to play games, man. Oh my God. Okay, I have to really get going because I've been sitting here for 5 hours, basically. Thank you so much for watching if you watched up to this point. I hope you are enjoying this series as much as I am. Looking forward to playing more and, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to end it. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired and I'm hungry. Okay, peace out. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.